Hey fam, it's Tony with Catfish Hunting Club. Okay, so the fletchings from One Arrow Archery did not come in today. So I went ahead and decided to add some, what are they, AAE Max into the mix. And I've already been shooting them. I know how they fly great. But I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not, but way down there, I got the target set up and we are going to commence to shooting. We'll get a few action shots because I know how thrilling this stuff is, but mainly we'll just show you the results, you know. Don't tell me about the birth, just show me the baby. And that's what we're going to do today. So here shortly, you'll see the results. Well, that thing's got a hair trigger on it. All right. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention, we're shooting at 50 yards, and as you can see, I got a little bit of flyer there. That was because I'm not used to this release aid. That's my bad, but you get the idea. These AA Maxes, they hold a pretty good group. I was aiming right for the center, and luckily, I actually hit the center. So as long as the elk gives me 3 chances, we're in there. All right, next we're on to the Ultra at factory settings. They're using the boning blazer vanes. And these have been around for a long time. The difference is these have the Ultra logo on them. Setup using a shotgun shell bag for my hip quiver, but all right, that. So what a difference a vane makes, huh? Aiming for the center, bam, bam, bam. Little off. And I felt pretty good about at least 2 of the 3 shots. That's why we try to shoot groups, huh? All right, so now we're going to do the Q2 archery. These are the heaviest ones out of the group, but they're also, in my opinion, probably the best looking ones out of the group. Let's see how these do. All right, now these Q2s, they did a little bit better than the last ones, but to be fair, I did feel good about every one of these shots. Was aiming right here, and then we got all of them within about a 4-inch group. So I don't hate them. Look good, but they are the heaviest ones out of the group. The least amount of FOC, but there is something to be said for being pretty. All right, this next group is the DCA MiniSaber. I've shot these before also. Like the way they handle it. We'll see how they do out here at 50 yards. That one might have been a little bit to the right, but we'll see. All right, so the DCA MiniSabers, they are right on line with the level that I was shooting at. I thought I might have pulled one to the right, and we just dropped this one out here a little bit, but all in all, that is about a 5-inch spread, if you count this furthest one, but I know I pulled this, and these will hold a very good group. All right, so taking a little bit of a break here to talk about some of the equipment. I mentioned it in the previous video, but I am using, for the most part, some Ultra arrows with a 300 spine. Everything is right around 500 grains. And up until this point, everything has been a 3-fletch, with exception of the AAEs. Those are, I believe those are 4-fletch, but I could check again. Either way, the next 2 sets coming up are going to be 4-fletches, and they're going to be the lightest and tiniest ones I have available to me at the moment, and we will see how those fly. I'm using my Matthews Arc 30, shooting 80-pound pull, 30-inch draw, and these are all flying right around 300 foot per second, obviously give or take a smidgen for the change in weight. But yeah, all in all, should be a fairly realistic test. I'm not the world's best marksman, don't claim to be, but this is what you guys could expect to see too, going out there in the field, shoot something new for the first time, and hopefully this helps. Hopefully it saves you a little bit of money, and hopefully it'll help you make the decision on what you want to go with. And we'll head back to the top of the hill now and shoot some of those 4-fletches. All right, the next to last set here, the second lightest set, the Boning Air. This is a 4-fletch, and we'll see how they do. Okay, so these Boning Airs, they held a pretty good group, one of the best ones so far. I would definitely have to tune my bow to these, who wouldn't? But one thing I can notice is this one right here has a little bit more of a cant that way. And I noticed as they were leaving the arrow, they seemed to have a bit of waggle as they took off. So you can tell that here impacting the target. And would definitely have to do some work on these if I was going to make these my go-to. Okay, the last one we have here is the TAC 1.75. Now these are a little bit stiffer, and they are supposed to help stabilize faster bows at range. So we'll see how they do. That one felt good. That one also felt good. That one was okay-ish. We're gonna go ahead and do the UV1K vanes now on my normal setup. See how I do with that, so you got kind of a little benchmark how I actually do when I'm shooting with what I normally shoot with. Okay, so it might be a little harder to see because they are the men dressed in black, but these tack drivers, they're practically touching right here. The spread is right at 4 inches, according to my calibrated hand. But these every one of these shots felt really good. I might have pulled this one a little bit, or it might have been a little bit of a wonky arrow setup. I don't know. I would have to shoot more to be sure, but those did okay. And these are my UV1Ks. The spread on them is a little bit further apart, but I know I pulled this one. This is normally what my groups look like with these, right in this, you know, they fit basically in a 3-inch circle at about 50 yards. So that, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell it on the camera, but out of all the ones that we shot, these were 100% the quietest fletching I have. Followed right by the TAC 1.75s, and after that, the AAEs. So those are my top 3. The UV1K number 1, the TAC 1.75s in a 4-fletch setup, or the AAE Max. I don't think you can go wrong with any of 3 of them. And as long as you tune your bow, I think you could probably get all of them to fly good for you. But yeah, that's about all I got for now. We'll head back to the shop and wrap this up. So I decided to take one more shot with my UV1Ks, and I missed by a little bit. Right through the tree. It's a Beast practice tip, by the way, and it just kind of plowed right through that little sucker. Kind of funny. Anyway. All right, so a little recap. My mind really wasn't changed much. The UltraView vane, that's still the one I'm going to go with. It's just the quietest vane, in my opinion. My bow is tuned to it, and if you noticed, the shot pattern, straight up and down, vertical, that's all me. And I can confidently say that. The AAE, this is my number 3 choice. It flew really well. I know that I pulled the one shot with it, but I really like this four vane setup with the AAE Max. Just flies good. They hold really good groups. I could have shot a lot more with them. I do have a few more arrows set up that way, but that is my backup arrow. It's on a little bit lighter arrow. Steers really good. But I did that lighter arrow in case I want to put a 125 grain on it at some point in time. And I've got a 500 grain arrow with a 100 grain tip, or a 475 grain arrow with a 100 tip. And either way, I can turn them all into 500 grain arrows if I just had the right head. Now, the surprise for me was this TAC 1.75. I was really surprised how good this held. The groups, every single shot off of these felt good, and these small vanes in this 4-vane setup, these stiffer, really helps stabilize it for those faster bows. But that's where I'm at. That's how I feel about it. If you feel differently, let me know in the comments. If there's something else you want to see me test, let me know. If there's something you want to see me shoot again, let me know. But yeah, that's about all I have to say about that. And y'all have a good one.